Hello, and today we're going to look at how to rationalize the denominator of a fraction with a surd on the bottom. What rationalize the denominator actually means is that we want a rational number on the bottom of our fraction, the denominator being the bottom of the fraction, of course. The whole point of this is to try and make the fraction easier to divide. So we're going to look at 3 easy examples and then 2 harder examples. So your first example will be simply to rationalize, very easy, 1 over root 3. Now we're going to do this by multiplying the top and the bottom of the fraction by whatever is on the bottom of the fraction, in this case root 3. So on the top line we should have 1 times the square root of 3, which is simply square root of 3, and on the bottom line the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9. To simplify that, the square root of 9 is 3. And we've finished. There is no more rational number on the bottom of our fraction. Very straightforward. Similar for the second one and the third one. Next we're going to rationalize and simplify. Sometimes you'll have to simplify, sometimes you won't. Rationalize and simplify 9 over root 6. And again, we're going to start by multiplying the top and the bottom of the fraction by what is on the bottom. In this case, square root 6. So on the top line, 9 times the square root of 6 is simply 9 root 6. On the bottom line, the square root of 6 times the square root of 6 is 6. And then to simplify that, if you have a look carefully at the fraction that you've got, 9 root 6 over 6, if we cover up the root 6, you can see that there's a 9 on 6. 9 on 6 is a simple fraction. It simplifies to be 3 over 2. And then stick your square root 6 on top. And we're done. Easy peasy. And then one more. Feel free to pause and have a go anytime you like at this. We're going to rationalize another easy peasy fraction. 3 plus root 2 all divided by root 5. And again, we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by the same thing. We're going to multiply all of the top by root 5 and the bottom by root 5. So on the top, 3 times the square root of 5 is simply 3 root 5. On the bottom, root 2 times root 5 is root 10. And on the bottom line, root 5 times root 5, hopefully you know by now it's simply just 5. And we're finished. It doesn't simplify any more than that. Now, to simplify a harder example, this one is harder because there are 2 things on the bottom of the fraction. We're going to multiply the top and the bottom of the fraction by, very similar to the bottom, 2 minus root 7. We're going to change the sign in the bottom so that this time we can use the difference of 2 squares. So 3 times root 2 on top is simply 3 root 2. 3 times negative 7 is minus 21. And then on the bottom of the fraction, we're using the difference of 2 squares. If you don't know what the difference of 2 squares is, it's probably going away and revising that before you see how this works. So by using the difference of 2 squares on the bottom here, all I need to do is multiply square root 2 times square root 2 to give me 2. And then 7 times minus 7 to give me minus 49. Well, simply left now is to simplify it. So the top line stays as it is, 3 root 2 minus 21, and then 2 negative 49 on the bottom is minus 47. And it's finished. Very easy if you know the difference of 2 squares. Similar to this one, a harder example again, 1 plus root 5 over 2 minus root 5. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2 plus root 5. So I'm changing the sign of what's in the bottom, and again using the difference of 2 squares. So the top line multiplied out, I should have 1 times 2, which is 2. 1 times root 5, which is just root 5. 2 times root 5, which is 2 root 5. And then root 5 by root 5, which just gives me 5. All divided by, and again, I'm using the difference of 2 squares. 2 times 2 is 4. And minus root 5 by root 5 is minus 5. Simplify it from there. 2 plus 5 is 7 on top. Root 5 plus 2 root 5 is 3 root 5s on top. On the bottom line, 4 minus 5 is minus 1. And to simplify it one more time, 7 divided by minus 1 is minus 7. And 3 root 5 divided by minus 1 is minus 3 root 5. And it's finished.